Nini, over to you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Adam. Adam is one of our early talents. Irene goes, we discovered him. But I'm very happy to have you here after lunch. Hopefully we won't keep you sleeping. Just wanted to introduce my company, Primework Studios, to you guys. It's called Asian Stories for the World, and hello. And Primework Studios is closely linked to this bigger company you will all know called Media Prima. And Media Prima is an integrated company, so these are all their entities. You can see us sitting in the content creation bit. Irene's in broadcasting and television broadcasting. Sunil is not here at this point in time, but he will be seen in the org structure because he's a man of this future. So you'll know more about him later on, but this is Media Prima and this is how we fit. In Primework Studios, we do IP animation, we do film production, format development, co-productions, and things like that. But today, I'm here under Veedo, and Veedo is a platform to curate creative community, the creative community. And what we do is we engage and we enlighten, which is what we want to do today. We want to introduce you guys to the people that you should be meeting in the future. And the people that we have been engaging with so far has been in film and TV, in animation, in apps and gaming, and the specialists, which is the visual graphic designers, your vector artists, and all those people. We've been trying to create with this, engage actively with the community. So that's us, and we do this through creating original contents, competitions, news updates, and things like that. This is a series that we have on YouTube. Please follow us. We feature a lot of the creative makers currently, and it's called V-Maker. And we had a video and all that, but I cut it down. And to engage everybody, we've been doing a lot of competitions like MDEC and game jams and hackathons and collaborations with all these people. So do have a look at what we do. Very, very proud of that. We also do reviews. So if anything that you want to do, review animation, IPs, and all that, we are quite addicted to that, and we do that quite actively. So we hold workshops with people as well, and universities and things like that. So we just really, really want to inspire people. That's our main function. So that's Veedo in a nutshell. And you can find us on all the social media platforms. And today we're here physically too, and we're here hosting this session because we want to introduce you to 3 new people that you should know in the new media sphere. And it is Tonton, Studio 8, and Motion Fixer Visual, right? So why are we here today? We are here today because the landscape, the content landscape has changed. Power to the people. Everybody's watching things online. Everybody's watching things on the mobile devices. People are creating their own content. So in the past, this is our history in television starting in 1946. Right up to now, we're supposed to go into digital with MyTV. But on the same note, new media platforms are all coming up as well. And these are what you're seeing right now. And last year, I only introduced maybe the middle bit. This year, you can see so many platforms coming up. YouTube, Dailymotions, Umob, and these guys are coming in the future. So what does it mean for the content creators today? I'm going to talk to you. I'm going to introduce you. Media Prima has acknowledged this, and we're saying we're going to do more than just TV. So we've changed our business model a little bit to accommodate the new changing landscape. For instance, look at 8TV has disappeared, and YouTube has taken place, and Studio 8 has replaced 8TV Urban. Chinese still remains on platform, so the main channels still remain, but we've gone into the YouTube space, which is what Sunil Kumar is all about in the YouTube space. Studio 8 is a brand that you should know, and under it has 3 new channels called Hatch, Quickie, and what's that one? Launchpad, which is really great, and you'll see more about that in the future. Tonton has changed its catch-up TV behavior into an AVOD plus SVOD platform, and Irene will tell you more about that. We've gone into home shopping network right now. We've got shopping capabilities on all the 4 channels. And we've got also Media Prima Labs where we are creating things from TV to apps. So things are changing in mainstream platforms, and we should make you more aware of what's happening from that perspective. So Primework Studios and how it all relates, we're creating new programs already that can rest on platforms, on TV, on mobile devices and things like that, web series. So I want to introduce to you the first superstar, which is Irene Zaino, Group General Manager for ATV, NTV7, and now Tonton. And Irene, I'm going to play the movie first. Yeah, your playback.
cinta dengan kau.
Itu apa nak lepas tangan macam tu je?
Yes.
Aku malas.
Wow, silakan.
Putih baulah putih.
Ya, betul.
Bekas.
Nice one, Irene. Irene, can you say a little bit more about what Tonton is to you right now?
Thank you. Hi, everybody. I'm Irene Zainal. And it's actually very exciting to be able to work on Tonton. As you know, we are 6 this year in August. And we have a total of 5.7 million registered users. Our business rules changed just about a month ago. We launched the new service, including a subscription base. So previously, in the last 5 years ago, it was actually a free service to all Malaysians to enjoy all the best shows that was produced by the #1 channel TV3, TV9, ATV, and TV7, and also original content available for Tonton. Moving forward, or where we are today, is we have offered a VIP service, meaning you can enjoy the best content before TV. That really resonates well with our core Malay audience, which makes up about 80% of our content offerings.
So just so that they don't forget that, you are actually previewing before mainstream TV now.
Oh yeah, so it's all about being able to have bragging rights with you and your friends and your neighbors. It's about having the access or that VIP membership to be able to watch things before TV3 or TV9. But we work together with our sister companies and also with NTV7 ATV. I almost forgot. Sorry, I have my 2 Tontonier girls here. Sorry, they're gonna walk with the.
As per usual, you come in
there's Alicia and Atira, and what we have is they've got kwachis on them right now. But I think the most important takeout is that. We're giving all of you in this room a chance to experience the VIP on Tonton. So they've got a redemption code for all of you. So you can experience it. It's only available for today for this very special crowd, the VIP crowd here. They're going to go around, or whenever you guys are free, going to have your coffee break, go outside. They'll be able to help you register and also redeem your 1-month trial experience with Tonton. And after that, you need to subscribe to our packages. So you can have an option of it's daily at 3 ringgit, you can watch it on a weekly basis at 5 ringgit, you can do it on a monthly basis at 10 ringgit, which is what you're going to be enjoying, or you can just save all your time and effort and I know Adam is looking at me, you can just do 96, so I'm plugging it because it's our floor. No, so 96 ringgit for 1 year, so it's competitive. And I think if anybody's asking, well, we know there's so many OTT players out there, how is this any different? I think the main thing is we are set up to provide and cater for our local taste, which is our local dramas, whether it's in Malay, English, or Chinese. So with that, I think I've taken too much of your thunder.
Thank you,
sorry.
Irene. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And Irene, the reason why Irene is here, and I wanted to introduce her first, is she's sort of like the new OTT, but she's sort of the new mainstream new media platform compared to what Sunil's about to talk about as well. And so for her, it's about original content. And it's also about showing it before the traditional media mainstream stuff at the moment.
And I think viewer habits have changed. I mean, 10 years ago when we had traditional TV like 8TV, 12 years ago, it was really about being able to watch your favorite show at a certain time, at a certain place, at home, predominantly. But that's changed because with technology, we can watch it whenever and wherever we are. And so I think it's really important for us to be in that mix. So Tonton is, although we've been around and we've had a different business offering the last 5 years, and I know, we've got our other friendly players in the market with iFlix and Netflix and all the other players, and that's great because they've actually helped us pave the way to get Malaysians to pay. Because I think that's a big challenge for Malaysians in general. It's a cultural thing where everything we want for free. So I think our aim is to kind of get everybody to move into a space where you can pay to get really great local content.
Pay to get great local content, which kind of segues nicely into Sunil, where you don't pay, but you can actually view great local content on YouTube. So I want to introduce you to Studio 8 Sunil Kumar, Network Director. Okay, that's a new title as well in the developing sphere of content creation. Sunil comes from a very, very colorful background. He started out his career as a director, audio visuals a specialist, and he's in charge of a lot of the 8TV urban content in the past that you've seen, the award-winning shows like Shout Awards, Welcome to the Real World, Hip Hop in Asia, you name it, he's done it. So he now helms a new studio called Studio 8, and this is going to be his intro. Sunil. Sorry.
Hi, good afternoon, how's everyone? Good? Yeah, so, we have a legacy of creating stars from Jacqueline Victor during Malaysian Idol, Faisal Tahir, 1 in a Million, Alang Wakaka from So You Think You Can Dance, and then later Showdown. And so, we, the urban people, right, we're the trendsetters, right? Whatever we do is sort of the underground, and once we bring it up to mainstream, and then we're looking for the next new thing, right? So we kind of needed to move away from free-to-air because all our audiences are no longer on free-to-air. So we need to engage them in a different platform. And so we thought, hey, what's the point of staying on TV? So let's just get out of there and go to where the action is. And we moved the urban content out of free-to-air, making 8TV now fully Chinese. But the urban content is on YouTube. And we got 3 channels called Hatch, Launchpad, and Quickie. And we're still trying to make stars out of people. So as we get along later, let's engage a little bit more, talk a little bit more, and get to find out how we can help you do that, right?
I think you've got a video, right? So we
yeah, okay, let's have a look at some of our content.
We love you, Malaysia. Final time. Good night, bye-bye. This is the
This minty, bro.
The bigger question is about to be answered right now.
Zapin, joget, and dangdut.
You are watching Launchpad.
Wow, Sunil looks really, really good, really fresh content. I think what people also have to remember is Sunil's role, Studio 8's role is still as a platform to unearth new talent and new content as well. So we're going to hear more about that. But Gabriel from Motion Fixo,
Hello.
hi, nice to meet you. Can you please tell us a little bit more? Gabriel's here on the tech side. He's done so much research in augmented reality and virtual reality and creating stuff. I think on your website you said you specialize in creating experiential content. So please elaborate a little bit more on that.
Hi, I'm Gabriel Lim. I think you guys know that already.
Do you? Yes, sorry,
No,
Gabriel.
yeah,
This is
so-
Gabriel. I was so excited to see you,
I
Gabriel.
guess I'll just
Do
introduce
you have
myself
a,
first.
yeah, and do you have a video later? We'll play it later.
I think we can play the video first, then I can explain better.
So
Yeah.
sorry about that,
No
Gabriel.
worries, yeah, just-
Play video.
Alright, so that's pretty much a short clip of things that we have done so far this year. So like I said, so we in motion picture visuals, we specialize in experiential design. So when we talk about experiential design, we talk about stuff like we do things like from projection mapping, visual display, and then I think over like since 3 years ago we started with playing around with augmented reality, and then also now this year we've been exploring into 360 video. So that's been great so far this year that we have explored things in the new heights. Like we no longer just creating content and all that, because the tools and the devices are already made available and it's easy to access, and it's becoming more affordable. So what we do is to, instead of just focusing on the content, we also started a new lab that specializes in electronics. So what I mean by electronics is that we now are able to create our own hardware to complement our content. So like we're talking about like virtual reality and all that. So virtual reality, now we know you have goggles and all that. So what we do is we will create hardwares like a virtual board, something physical, something that people can actually engage more beyond the content and the goggles, right? So I think this is pretty much.
Wow, but that sounds really, really interesting and amazing. And I mean, like everybody, I'm sure, is thinking about that. Well, how does it all fit in as a content creator? You've done all this research in terms of innovation. Where do we take this in technology, and how do we apply it to content viewing? I don't want to answer that now. I want to take it back a little bit and ask the three of you. Content opportunities in new media. Irene, for Tonton, it's more about mainstream content at this point in time. What are you looking for in terms of content from the producers or content creators out there?
I mean, how many producers are here in this room?
Yeah, that's a good question. One producer. Any developers? Any IP owners, animators?
Writers?
Any geeks?
Writers. Those are writers? Animators?
Yeah.
IP owners?
You know, I think
okay.
it's really just Tonton, apart from the viewing pleasure from a consumer standpoint, it's really about building the industry and providing a lot more opportunities for Malaysians, Malaysian talents actually, whether in front of the camera or behind the camera, to kind of, I think, bring out their art, because I think there are lesser restrictions online in terms of the content that we can offer. I mean, Tonton is here to kind of push the envelope a little bit within the rules of the games, but you know, when you head mainstream TV at 8:30 or 9 o'clock, there are certain rules that applies in terms of the content and the concept of the content. But I think for Tonton, moving forward, we would like to complement our programming mix or our offerings in terms of having a little bit more edgy things that, I guess, what we did 10 years ago, 12 years ago for ATV, things that you would never normally see on a Malaysian screen. Having said that, I know that the whole being online, you can access any kind of content anywhere, but I think what will resonate well with our audience is if it's localized and it has local relevance. So, I mean, Tonton is available from a viewing standpoint, from a viewing pleasure, from a consumer, but I think for this forum, it's important to kind of get the talents here and really submit what you think is going to be liked by the audience. And I think being online also, there's no segregation of audiences. There's no compartmentalizing. You've got to attract a certain type of audience. So we welcome all types of content. But in terms of, I guess, like if I had to categorize it in a genre, I mean, dramas are the core of Tonton, the viewer. They're going there to watch the best dramas. So in that sense, and I think light entertainment.
Yeah. I actually want to touch about your audience on Tonton. Can you describe in a sentence who they are? I mean, they like to watch drama. Is there a particular age demographic that's currently on Tonton right now, predominantly?
I mean, we're seeing, we appeal to all. So basically, anybody that knows how to touch a screen, really from the moment you're born, you can access it. Because we have content ranging from animation to kids' educational programs, right until movies and live concerts and the big dramas. But we're seeing, based on the data that we have, predominantly our audience is a bit more female. It is between the 25 to 35 bracket. But having said that, because of the beauty of online, and you can kind of create your own, on Tonton, when you're a VIP, you can kind of watch what you want, where you want, and how you want it. We can create a channel or like a channel that, it's like a playlist. Like you can create your own playlist to watch whatever you want on Tonton. Okay, and we have at the moment we have 22,000 titles available on our platform for Malaysians to peruse. Yeah.
So Irene, you are looking for any kind of content right now? You're open?
It's so open because there's no hard and fast rules to it. From a business point, sometimes it's using our guts to kind of say, look, this is going to be the next thing. But really, whatever is going to be big will only be determined by, I think, the work that's put into that content.
Okay, cool. And Sunil, in terms of creating new content, I think, what are your thoughts on this new platform of your Studio 8? Can you elaborate a little bit more? And what is the future for it?
Sure. So on Studio 8, every conversation we have with every content creator out there is unique. There's no formula, there's no template, there's no trying to force a treatment or an idea upon you. When we talk to someone, we want to see what you're about, what your context is, you know what I mean? So we really are eager to engage with people. So we started with YouTube first, and Hatch is like one of the big, is a flagship channel for us where we collaborate with YouTubers, either YouTuber with YouTuber or YouTuber with somebody from Media Prima, or celebrity YouTuber or Media Prima with somebody else, and it just goes on like that, you know what I mean? What we're looking for is someone who has an individual voice. You're so unique in your ways. And we can test paid content, we can experiment, and Hatch is the place where we can do all that first.
So how does it work then? I mean, like, you have content on YouTube. Are you intending for it to go onto mainstream platform, or?
Yes, that door to become, to bring your content to film, TV, movie, our TV channels and stuff like that is open all the time, right? But sometimes it's very difficult to just jump straight into stuff like that, because a lot of people who are creating content now are very, very creative, but they don't have enough resources to get their productions out there, right? So, but when you work with a team that's really looking to maintain your identity, but also try to bring your content into other platforms, giving you resources in terms of financing or production resources and so on and so forth, that's what our passion is. We want to work with people who will tell us, hey, I've got this great idea, and then we look at it and say, hey, this would be great if it just expanded on YouTube, or this could be great if it just starts its life on YouTube, and then let's look at bringing it onto TV and movies and so on and so forth. So yeah, that's basically how it
It's
works.
about unearthing a new creative talent,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Either on camera or as content creators.
Correct, that's right.
Cool. And Gabriel, what does that mean to you? I mean, like, having heard what Tonton is doing and what Studio 8 is doing, and then you're also researching on the new stuff that's happening in VR and augmented reality. You're touching a different type of audience altogether. Can you expand on that a little bit?
Yeah, so one of our primary focus, of course, I'm trying to do something different, like different type of media, or rather different type of method. So VR, it's not really a new thing now, but it's just becoming more like a trend now. And then with the available platforms such as even YouTube, Facebook, soon to be with Tonton, Studio 8 and all that. So these things that we can, all this hardware that we have available now are just helping us to. It just helps us to have a better reach. Like as opposed to 10 years ago, you can't even view it at home. So now with even the internet is so fast now. I think everybody at home will have at least minimum of 30 meg plans or something. So what I'm saying is that because this content, like capturing things like even 360 video, it requires a lot of data and all that. But now the infrastructure, the network is just easy. So it can reach out to anyone, anywhere in Malaysia, or even back home, or even on your mobile phone and all that. So what I say, it's just great now that we have all these platforms available. So for us, we have the equipments, we'll just shoot things in a different approach, and then we'll just tap onto the existing platform to showcase.
Have you touched base with any advertisers or anybody that's actually willing to commercialize whatever that you've been innovating at this point in time?
I think because for example, 360 video we just launched last year, and then we have the privilege to work with Media Prima, which is we shot 360 video for Tonton on the Anugerah screen late last year. So I think that was one great opportunity for us, and I think even for the audience at home, now they can actually immerse themselves, feel like as if they're there live. And
Was that good
yeah.
for you, Irene?
interesting response, and that was again experimenting new things and trying out things for our viewers for their experience. So yeah, that was cool. It was really cool.
So the next big thing that we are hoping to explore is actually the live streaming, because now even YouTube just launched a new 360 live streaming capability. So the only thing now we need to do is just go back and invest on live streaming machine, and then soon enough, even like live events, football, like sports, and exhibitions and all that, people will just sit at home or in the office, in the bus or car. They can actually just experience it from anywhere. Yeah.
That's great. So I know that now that you're doing research like heavily onto like how to create content on new platforms. Sunil's trying to unearth talent, and Irene's trying to navigate her way around in an OTT platform. So everybody's ready. So who's going to start the ball rolling? I mean, how do we get everybody started, and how do we invigorate the system, in the ecosystem? What are your thoughts on that, Irene? Like, how do we start? Where do we start actually building new content?
I think it's everywhere, really. And I think it depends on how it's going to serve its purpose. I mean, I think the great thing that we would have, the synergy between Studio 8 and Todon is, when you find that artist is ready to move to the next level, then, we're ready to showcase starring whoever, so-and-so in the biggest drama of the year.
So
Available on Todon.
Yeah.
Start with
I mean,
cinema.
let's look at it in context. I think TV, film, and all this, what would be traditional media right now, we've had a good 10, 12-year run where the business models are stable, things are, ADEX was stable, and so on and so forth. We've just hit a huge flux in the whole business of media, right? And so because of that, everyone's kind of trying to find their space, trying to learn their space. And if you don't jump in the pool and swim, you're not going to be the guy who's going to be relevant when everything settles back down again, until we have another 10 years of smooth sailing. So I think it's important that everyone jump into it, try, find their voice, and again, no matter what platform you're on, whether you're on YouTube or you're on cable or VOD or whatever, you got to have a unique voice. Your channel, what you stand for, who you speak for, your brand, all this have got to be very unique so that your audience can flow with you to no matter which platform you're at. So for me, context is very important, and no matter which platform you go to, some of the basic tenets like storytelling is a must for me, and so because we've done this for more than a decade, we actually want to help new talents develop that. I mean, Gabriel and I were having a conversation just now about writers, And Gabriel was saying, hey, a writer's strike. And I'm like, okay, but all two of them is not going to be a strike. We don't have enough writers in this country, Yeah, the writers' pool is too small,
I think they're there. It's just probably they don't know where to go to kind of
that's
showcase
one thing,
themselves.
That's one
right?
thing. And also, it's more sometimes they go where they can afford to be writers. Sometimes being writers for film and TV doesn't pay the bills, right? So we want to get to a point where content is everywhere, that being a writer, being a content creator, being a content developer means that you can make a living doing something you're passionate about. So you don't no longer have to just put your content on just Studio 8 or just on Tone or whatever, you know what I mean? But our content can go wherever our audience is.
Have you found any interesting sort of like content right now that particularly stands out that people can refer to?
Yeah, I mean we worked with a few YouTubers that kind of blow our mind, like Takahara. She's fantastic.
Takahara, I've never. What she do?
She plays guitars, she sings, she talks. She talks a lot, but she's very interesting to engage with. Very talented. So we put her on one of our channels called Launchpad, and Launchpad is basically a place where no matter what you do in the arts, from singing to dancing to calligraphy to rapping to blogging or whatever, we set up that channel so that artists can find a space and a voice for people to go and sort of... but basically what we do is we are trying to lock down a new artist, with people who can take you to the next level. So we've actually spoke to record companies and told them, hey, every Monday, why don't you make it a habit? Go to YouTube, check out Launchpad, see who's the new artists, what their videos are about. You might find your next star there. And for us, Taka is one of our people. We first engaged with her as a person who does YouTube music videos, but we think she's good enough to be a host for a talk show. So that's in developing right now.
Very cool, Sunil. So actually, Irene, you touched it, or is it Sunil that touched it, on the fact that you need to pay the bills.
Yeah.
Right? So you have to create content to make money, and a lot of people are trying to create content. It's like the first thing is like what sells, right? So how much of that plays a part in the future? Advertisers right now, they want new content. Are you getting that indication from people?
Yes, but the other thing we noticed very quickly was that in their eagerness to accept branded content and sponsored content, I think a lot of new artists, new talents are actually losing their voice and losing their identity,
because they're becoming more commercialized.
Correct. Too soon, too fast, and it's actually putting the audience off.
Right.
So there's a lot of experience that our marketing teams and our producers, we've dealt with stuff like this before. You know, we've had arguments like, no, that's too hard sell. You know, you cannot slap the audience with the brand like that. You know what I mean? So you got to learn how to write, how to integrate, how to tell stories about the brand that are more engaging than just, you know.
It sounds like the average content creator or average producer has to think a little bit more than just creating a story. They also have to think about how it relates to the ecosystem as well, in terms of like how the brand is positioned and all that stuff. So I think it's a little bit harder for the content creator.
Yes, and it's tough. It's tough for a person who's found fame playing a guitar in the bedroom, right? To suddenly, oh, everybody wants me. You know what I mean? And this brand wants to give me money to do stuff. But you don't have the skill sets, and so you need to find help, you know, to help you get to that level.
So connecting the dots, basically.
Yeah,
and Gabriel, have you got any thoughts about like the future of content?
Yeah, so I'm just gonna talk back about what Sunil mentioned about not having enough writers to create such contents and all that. But on top of that, I mean, although we have all these platforms or online platforms that's ready, whether it's on the web or on your Apple TV and all that, but the thing is, I think things like we do need locally, it's like we need to have this space for them to actually create this content. You know, so like there's the YouTube space that's available. So I think that's gonna be a big game changer as well. We have a lot of creative people. There's MDEC have created opportunity for all these creative people to go out there, explore. But if we do have a platform, not platform, I mean a space. So it's a ready studio, all the equipments are already there. So all this YouTube stuff, they can actually just make use of the space and start contributing content. So I think like Sunil said, so we do need writers, and then we need to have this space as well. Yeah.
To further complete, so the platforms are already, so we just need physical space for the
Exactly,
rest of the
yeah.
producers to
So
come in.
come experiment, let's try stuff, see what happens, you know.
Because like my company, we're focusing more on the client servicing side. So we do have access to these equipments for us to do servicing and all that. But then for those other content creators, they have ideas, they're so creative. But then some of these tools might not be available to them and all that. So if we do have a centralized studio and a space and all that, that'll be great.
MDEC listening? Where is MDEC anyways? They're listening for this, that we need a physical space. There, yeah, we need physical space.
YouTube space.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to open the floor to any questions for the producers. Anybody that's yes. I think there's a mic behind you, standing up. I think she's the one and only producer in this room, or?
Yeah, apparently.
Actually, I'm a writer, but I have to call myself a producer, otherwise I don't get taken seriously.
Told you.
We like everybody.
So,
yes, your question.
Just some quick points actually off the top of my head actually, which I think, I'm not sure how many people here are creators, but I think none of you talked about intellectual property protection. I hope I'm not saying anything libelous, but really, I don't feel like my IP is protected when I pitch to a TV station, because you have internal production capacity and things happen all the time. I've experienced it personally myself. So I thought it was interesting that none of you mentioned that how do you protect the creators' rights? What process do you have internally to make sure you don't actually take an idea and run with it, and I see a version of what I did on the screen 3 months later? That's number one. Number two, suits don't understand creative people. It's all easy to say, I need writers, there aren't enough writers, there's not enough writers. But people forget, it takes time to write. right? No one's paying the writers' bills while they are writing. So people say to me, what does a writer do? I say, it's very simple. I get up in the morning, my computer, I turn it on, page is blank. I fill that page up and then I fill it 90 times over. Then I go back again, I erase everything and I start all over again. That takes time. So there's no money for development. There's no investment in development. And I think for a lot of content people at least, right? I think the huge challenge is ultimately no one wants to make anything actually interesting. It's a censorship problem. TV3 has a censorship department inside its building that censors content. Okay. Now, a creator doesn't want to be told, you know this thing that they made last week? Can you give me a version of that but change the color of the girl's hair? Something like that. Okay. Creators want to make edgy content. We want to make things that will surprise people, interest people. I'm not talking about sex. That's not necessary, although surprisingly, this country is incredibly squeamish, but okay, fine. There's no edge. Broadcasters are not interested in being different. That's why people are excited about things like Netflix, because they're like, wow, push the envelope. Yeah, let's go see if we can work something with them. So I found it interesting that none of you actually addressed the notion of what kind of content you actually believe in. You just say, we want good stuff. What is good stuff? So to me, from a creator standpoint, working with local companies is very dangerous. My IP is not protected. I might have to work a long time and not get anything out of it. And at the end of the day, I sell my content outright to you and I own nothing in the end. So unless the deals change and the structures change, which will take a long time, I think you'll find it's just not rewarding enough for most people to actually make content full time. In fact, your YouTube guys, and the whole let's come on my platform and all that, again, without being overly cynical, right? When I hear your pitch, I hear, hey, you're really good. Let me find a way to exploit you and make lots of money for me. What's in it for them? The younger generation of stars, they'd rather do it themselves. Okay, I'm a star for 1 year, I make tons of money, I'll figure it out after that. So I think the value proposition is just not obvious at the moment, which is why you don't get good writers going to you, which is why you don't get good content creators going to you, because they're like, nothing to win. So maybe you want to possibly address that. I don't know how much of the audience here are creators or experience that, but that's been my experience 15 years in this business.
I understand. So, hang on. There's a lot of points that you were addressing right there. Could you distill that one particular question that you want to direct to your panelist, or?
Yeah, okay. Why don't we keep it simple? One, IP protection.
Okay.
And exploitation.
Right.
And two, not to say you have to commit to an answer, but let's talk about why TV3 or Media Prima as a group, which is so powerful as a media business, has not fought for less censorship.
Less censorship. How do we answer this, Irene? Would you like to, Sunil? Would you like to? No, it's fine.
No,
this is an open forum.
That's cool. I actually agree with a lot of what you say, because I always consider myself a creator. I'm only wearing a suit right now because Yes.
I'm surprised you're wearing a suit.
Hey, I brought up the fact about writers and content creators trying to keep their head above water while still doing stuff that they're passionate about. Any stuff, I agree. Relative to your position, when I was with ATV and doing the urban side, we were still the poor cousins to TV3, and we fought for budgets to do the Shout Awards. We fought for budgets to do Showdown and stuff like that. We were never given the same amount of budgets that TV3 got, because, hey, the accountants would always equate the viewership with the value of the production. So, in a relative way, some of us are still going through that problem. Now, as for IP, right? Well, first of all, Media Prima wouldn't even be... Okay, and there's no way for me to explain this without sounding a little bit defensive. It's not intentional, but the reason why Studio 8 was even set up, and it's a startup company. It's got very little budgets. It's only got 8 people on its staff. It's because we believe the future is in working and collaborating with writers out there, right? But because, like for example, your context of Netflix, right? Netflix has so much money. their content is worldwide, right? So when they decide that they want to come into a country like Malaysia and say, I want to localize, right? It's an investment plan that probably doesn't even give a dent in their whole business venture. So we're hoping that by collaborating with people, we can actually start to we actually want to kickstart ADEX going to digital. So then, look, for example, CPMs, right? CPMs on YouTube is small in this country. So even if you're a YouTuber and so on and so forth, if you have 1 million views, right? It's not like PewDiePie, you know? You can walk away with ringgit 1 million or whatever at the end of the year, right? So we're actually just looking towards the future to try and see where this is headed. As for IP, Studio 8's conversation with each party is always unique. So if the IP is yours and you want production help, you retain your IP. If we bring the idea and we want to work with you, you can consider yourself an artist or a co-pro or a co-IP owner, and so on and so forth. And that's why we exist in the first place, because Media Prima is actually trying to get out of its modus operandi of just owning everything. You know, that's not what we wanted to do. That's why.
Also, I think to add to that, we have been working with a lot of the IP laws as well, to NDAs and respecting all that stuff. We've been actively doing that for the last couple of years or so. So, you know, I'm sorry that you've had like a very bad experience with some of us, but we're improving ourselves all the time. But I feel like we are respectful of IPs, always been. Okay, moving forward, I've got maybe one. Thank you for that so much. Thank you.
Is that all right? Is that?
I don't know. I mean, you can have conversations with us later. Feel free to come and talk to us. I would like one more. I have one more question for somebody on the floor.
Sorry,
Anybody
but before that, I just really need to reiterate again. The number of people watching their programs has to correlate with the production that goes with it. You know what I mean? And that has always been a Malaysian problem. So the only way this problem can be solved, or at least alleviated, is if we all find a space to work together and figure out how we're going to do this. And one of the ways is to at least start with Asian content first, Asian sensibilities, and then move on to world content. Then our content becomes valuable. Thanks.
And I think there's also a degree of you need to be able to share your IP at the start. I mean, like if you have an idea, you will have lots of ideas coming through, and you have to be open and ready to give away some in order for you to grow. That's always been my personal thinking, anyways, behind that. Not a Media Prima thinking.
Yeah, but it seems really weird. So all these big companies want to come into Malaysia and localize the content, but okay. So this is a little bit touchy subject, but I've always reckon that the American way of exporting content is brilliant, but they don't seem to have a method of importing content. You noticed?
Yeah.
It's very difficult to go up that pipeline again, you know. So yeah, that's something I think we need to think about as creators.
Yeah, I think American companies like Nat Geo and Hallmark, they actually just outright take your script and keep all rights to themselves when you do work with them.
I don't know. I don't think that's the bigger problem. The problem is
talking about IP.
Yeah, so it's a bit of a chicken and egg. Do we now learn how to do content that is international, right? So that other people can now take it and run with it around the world, or do we concentrate right now on learning our craft here in Malaysia? I don't see TV series anywhere near the quality of like NCIS, for example. I'm just putting something out there. Right? Because why? They have resources, they got budgets. Okay, that's one thing. But they also have teams and teams of writers and production people that come and go. And it's such a dog-eat-dog thing in LA and New York. You know what I mean?
So here, in order for us to do that, it's collaboration.
Yeah, but at the same time, because we don't have the audience for our content, we don't have the budgets to keep all these people. You know what I mean? So it's a bit like, no, damn if I do, damn if I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, so...
Which is where she is.
Which is why people like MDAC and all this, these are I think we should engage with them in this level and find out how are we going to go back up that chain, rather than just import only. You know what I mean? True. I can say that my standards of production and what I wish for really came from UK and the US because I grew up on that content. You know what I mean? But I would like to send that content back up there and something they haven't seen.
This is the hope. This is the hope
Yeah,
of the
it's a
future.
big hope, yeah.
Okay, one question, one last one before I wrap it up. Anybody with a question? A difficult one, if you can. Yeah. No? Okay, I would like to thank everybody on this panel for your time.
Oh, we're done.
Thank you. Yeah, we're done. We're done. Thank you so much for your time and ears for listening to what we have to say. So if you want to talk to any of this panelists, feel free. So thank you very much. Good afternoon.